Hi to everyone. Hope you are doing good and welcome to Thursday's lesson. So before I start the lesson, let me just quickly remind you about the quiz which I told you, which is on Edmodo. It is already published on Edmodo. You can just go and check. Take 10 minutes to revise the geometry chapter lesson 1, 2, 3 and 4, and to make it more easy for you, I have not given the last lesson's proving part, because I feel most of you are confused in those three theorems. So I have not given any questions regarding that. The remaining, of course, you just have to revise, because I'm sure you girls can remember all that. Take some time, revise those lessons, and then go back, take another 10 minutes to finish the question. I have given you 45 minutes to finish the question. It is just to make sure that how many of you are following what we are teaching and how many of you have understood the lessons well. It is just to check that. The marks are nothing to be considered or done. This is just an information for me to see who all are doing the lessons, and for you to know how much mistakes and how many things you have learned from that lesson. Okay, now before we move on, I asked you yesterday to do question number 12 till 15, right? I hope most of you have question number 9 till 11, because I could not do, the time wasn't enough through the video to do all these things. So question number 9 till 11 I hope you have done. So as a quick review, I will only do question number 9 just to show you how do you need to do it. So after that I will just give you the answers. So question 10 and 11. Okay, now this is for question number 9. Okay, the coordinates given are 1 and -4, and the systems are x minus 2y equals 8 and 4x minus y equals 8. Okay, this is the first equation and this is the second linear equation. Linear because it all should be straight once you graph it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, draw the t table here, write the first equation, x minus 2y equals 8. So which means this side should have 8, 8, 8, right? So x in place of x, I replace this x and y. So x is 1 minus from the equation, and minus 2 minus 4, because in place of y we replace with 4. So that's going to give you 1 plus 8. 2 into 4 is 8, minus into minus is plus, 1 plus 8 is 9, which means this equation, this pair does not satisfy the linear equation. It is not a solution for the given system. Now once the first one is itself not equal, you don't need to go and solve for the other one, right? I don't think I need to be telling you each and every point for this. You need to understand by your senses that if the first equation itself is not equal, what's the point in doing the second one? Even if you get the second one equal, your answer is not going to be a solution, right? So if the first one is alone not equal, just write it's not a solution. That's a hint or a tip. If the first equation which you solve itself is not giving you equal answers, no need to solve the other one. Okay, so question number 9 is not a solution. Number 10 is, yes, it is a solution. Question number 10, I cannot show you the answers from the book. So question number 10 is a solution. So let me write the answers here. I will not be showing you each and every step. Okay, so once you solve number 10, you will be having both the sides equal, so you have to say it is a solution. I wrote yes here, but you have to write it is a solution. Now question number 11, again it is also a solution, because if you substitute 2 in place of x in place of 5, so that will give you 10, and plus y is 2, so 10 plus 2 is 12, so that's right. Now again the same here, in place of y if you substitute 5 minus and again 2, that should give you, if 11, yes, both of them are right. So this is going to be minus 3 minus, sorry, this is 2 here because this is y first, so this is going to be minus 6, and this is going to be minus 5, so that's going to be minus 11, which means it is also a solution. Okay, hope most of you have got the answers right. Fine. Now, as I told you yesterday, the lesson is being divided in 2 parts. Okay, so yesterday's part was much easier. Now today we are going to see how to check each system by graphing. Now graphing, of course, you'll be needing your graph papers, graph books or papers, whatever you're using, else you will not, believe me, you will not be able to get the points accurate at all. They will not give you the accurate points if you don't use a ruler, if you're not using a squared paper or anything which has equal numbers. You will not get the exact answer, because for these questions we of course need to get exact answers. Okay, so before I show you how to graph the system, there was a lesson in when we were learning about slopes. Because of some quizzes or something, we were not able to concentrate on that lesson properly, quiz or some day, English day or something, so we were not able to concentrate on that lesson properly. But just to quickly revise, let me show you now. To start with the slope, okay, you know, again we have to go back to y is equal to mx plus b. Okay, always remember that your equations for this lesson when you are drawing the graph should be y is equal to mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Remember what's y-intercept? What is y-intercept? Y-intercept is when x is 0, what is y-intercept. Okay, I don't think you all have forgotten, but if you have forgotten, this is a quick reminder for you. M is slope and b is the y-intercept. Y-intercept means when x is 0, what is y. Okay, now we had these kinds of questions, 3x plus 5. Okay, so make sure all the equations are in this form. Y is equal to 3x plus y is equal to mx plus b, because this is the standard form, right? Now from this we know that the slope is 3, right, and the y-intercept is 5, which means the coordinates are going to be 0 and 5. Please listen to me carefully because it's very important for this part of the lesson. Okay, y-intercept is 5, which means x is 0, y is 5. Now I want you to concentrate on this part here. Okay, now it is not always possible for us to again solve the equation and use the slope formula y2 minus y1. It's not possible. It's a very lengthy procedure. Okay, so what I want you to quickly remember is that if you want to find the slope, we can also use the formula rise over run. I can tell you there was only one girl, okay, I will not specify her name. There was only one girl who was very interested in this and she really got what this means. The others were very busy with other things and we did not concentrate on this lesson. I think it was lesson 3 in the previous chapter. Okay, so it was rise over run. I will tell you what is rise over run, but before that let's see what this slope has to do with rise over run. Always when the slope is given to you, there is an invisible one below. Okay, whenever you get an equation with the slope, for example, if you have y is equal to 2x plus 3, always there is an invisible one under the number. Okay, now taking this number, I will show you what is rise and what is run. The upper part, that's the numerator, is called the rise, and the down part of the numerator is called the run. Okay, now what is rise and what is run? Rise means go up, okay, and run means go to the right or left, it depends. So rise means go up, run means mostly it's go to the right for this lesson. Okay, so rise is go up, this is rise, and run means go to the right. Okay, now what are we going to do with this rise and run? If this is the rise, okay, so if we have a point on the graph like this, where are we going to find the next point? For example, if this was 3 and 1. Rice is 2, right? So we go up 1, 2. Okay, and from here the run, which is we'll go to the right, is 1. So we come up to a point. You will understand this better when I start doing the questions, but before that I just want you to remember that this is the thing we are going to use, rice over run, so that you will not get confused when I say what is rice and run. Rice means go up, run means go to the right. Now if the rice is in negative, for example, if it was -2, that means the rice will be to fall down, not go up. If it is a positive number, it goes up. If it is a negative number, it comes down. Okay, girls, when I do the questions, I'm sure you will understand what I'm telling about. So let's start doing the questions. So this is question number. I'm going to do, let me do an easy one first. So I'll be doing question number 5 because that's the easiest one I can find. Not that others are difficult, but yeah, we will need some time to understand them. Okay, so this is the graph paper. If you don't have the graph paper, go and get it. So, okay, this is question number 5. Now, solve each system by graphing. Check your answer. So they want us to solve the system by graphing, and then we will check our answers. Now this is the equation they have given. Y is equal to half x and y is equal to -x plus 3. Now always make sure your linear equation should be y is equal to mx plus b. Now here b is not there, means b is going to be a 0. Right, now let's check here, is it the correct one? Y equals m. Here there is no m, which means if there is no m, what is the number in front of x? What should be there? Not 0. It cannot be 0. It has to be 1, because m and x are together. So if there is no m in front of x, that means it's 1. Okay, so y is equal to mx plus b. It's confusing because it's the first question, so you need to just concentrate, that's all. Okay, so always make sure your equations are in y is equal to mx plus b, because that will make our graphing easier for us, that's all. Okay, now here what is m? First let's write the slope. So m is half. Okay, here the m is -1. Now remember I told you, whenever there is a slope, there is an invisible one under it. But for this question, we don't need to write the invisible one because there is a 2 as the denominator. Okay, I'm repeating again. I told you, whenever there is a slope, always there is an invisible one under it. But for this question, because the slope is in fraction form, we don't need to add the invisible one, because here 1 is the rice and 2 is the run. Okay, so rice is the numerator, run is the denominator, but here the slope is -1, which means it's not in the form of a fraction, right? So we write the invisible one by ourselves. Okay, so this is going to be the rice and this is going to be the run. Now here it's -1, which means we'll come down. I'll show you that also. So let me show you how to graph this part. Y is equal to half x. We are going to graph y is equal to half x. First let's graph the y-intercept. It's 0. Okay, so which means the y-intercept is 0, x is 0, y is 0. That's going to be here. If you want to make it more clear, you can write anywhere y is equal to the coordinates are going to be 0 and 0. So this is the y-intercept. Now how am I going to graph this part, the slope? You know the rice is 1, right? So start from the y-intercept. How much is the rice? 1. So you go up 1. How much is the run? 2, which means you'll go right 2 times. So it's going to be 1, 1 up, 2 to the right. So this is your next point. Okay, now again, how much is the rise? 1 up, 2 to the side. This is your next point. Which is the next one? 1 up, 2 to the side. So your next point is going to be here. So similarly, we can also join them in this way. Now here we went up, right? 1 up, 1 to the right. Now here, if you're doing like to get to this point, from where do I start? From this side. So I go 2 to the right and 1 down. So here, because from this point, if you see, it's going to be 1 up, 2 to the right. Okay, so to come to the other side, we do the opposite. We go 2 to the left and 1 to the. So this is going to be your line for y is equal to half x. Okay, of course you will need a ruler to do this. So just wait for a while until I get a ruler. Okay, girls. So now what we are going to do is we are going to be joining these points. Okay, so once you join the points, join them straight so that we will get the answer perfect. So you will have to join these two all these points which we got. Okay, now I'll have to pause the video and join it because I cannot hold the mobile in one hand and I cannot use the ruler. Okay, so join it and then we will meet soon. Okay, so once you join the points, you will get your line like this. So here, just to make it more clear, at the end of the line, I'm going to write the equation. So the equation was y is equal to half x. You girls, please do it with a pencil, because here if I do with the pencil, it will not be clear enough. That's why I'm doing with the red pen, because you know, even if a point goes wrong, your whole graph is wrong. Okay. Now moving on to the second system, second equation, that is y is equal to negative x plus 3. Now here we put the slope and we know the y-intercept is 3. So let's first put the y-intercept as 3. What is y-intercept? When x is 0, what is y? So it comes along the y line, y-axis. Okay, so it is 3. Now how much was the slope? The slope here was minus 1 over 1. The invisible one which we put. So the rise is minus 1. In fact, that's not a rise, that's a fall, because it's minus. In this part, rise means we went up, but here because it's minus, so we come down, and to the right we go as 1. Okay, so we will start from this point here. So it's the rise was negative 1, which means it's a fall. So we are here, and then the run is 1, so the next point is here. Again, similarly, 1 down, 1 to the right. So the same point here. Again, 1 down, 1 to the right. So here, 1 down, 1 to the right, 1 down, and 1 to the right. Okay, now I think these points are enough for us to get a perfect line. So all what you need to do is keep your ruler straight and just join all those points which we drew here and write the equation beside the line. Okay, girls, so for question number 6, okay, I forgot to press the recording button when I paused it. So I will just explain it quickly for you. It's here, because I did all this without pressing the record button. Fine. So here we have y is equal to x minus 2, which means there is no number. The slope will be 1 and the invisible one here. Okay, so the slope for this is going to be 1 over 1, which means rise is 1, run is 1. Rise means you will go up 1 and you will go to the right 1. Now for this part, this is not in the proper way. Okay, so when this is not in the proper way, you have to arrange it. Y is equal to mx plus b, so you need to be rearranging it. So once you rearrange it, you will be getting y is equal to 1 minus 2x, but let's arrange it. Y is equal to mx plus b, so you need to bring the minus 2x in front. So y is equal to minus 2x plus 1. So slope is going to be negative 2 over 1. So negative 2 means it's going to be a fall over the run. Okay, so this is how you need to be finding out the slope and as well as the y-intercept. So here for this question the y-intercept is -2, so I marked it as -2 here, and from here the slope was 1/1, which means you'll go one up, one to the right, one up, one to the right, one up, one to the right, one up, one to the right. So similarly in the next equation we have the slope as -2/1, which means it will come down, right? And the y-intercept is +1. So you mark the y-intercept as +1 and the slope was -2. So -2 means you will fall 2, 1 to the right, fall 2, 1 to the right, fall 2, 1 to the right. So I just wanted an extra point here, so I did the opposite, 1 to the left and 1, 2 up. Now keeping these points, first let me join them and show you what your graph looks like.